All right, so the last video was kind of a little bit drawn out. So I think this time we're gonna cut it like a little more to the point. So here's what we're gonna do, okay? Let me tell you something real quick. So, gosh, maybe like 5, 7, yeah, like 7 years ago now, we were doing like these weight competitions in the office, right? No, maybe like 8 years ago now. We were doing these competitions in the office for like who would like lose the amount of weight, right? And then what would happen is that we would everybody would put money into a pot, and then after like a week or so, we'd all weigh in, and then we'd see like who lost the most amount of weight. Okay, so what you're gonna do is we're definitely gonna cover right now how I won all that stuff back to back, kind of by shortcutting it, and then how I literally stumbled upon how we can, as type 2 diabetics or even diabetics in general, really just type 2 diabetics, I believe, as far as the case study goes, tripped on and found and discovered how we can literally improve our insulin sensitivity up to 25% in just 4 minutes of exercise. So let's do it.
Cool. So the work of this is based on the work of a gentleman by the name of Stephen H. Boucher, the case study, right, where they had actually taken a bunch of younger and older, men and women, and they ran them through, this high intensity interval exercises. What they had done is they had these folks work for 30 seconds, okay, and they gave them up to 4 minutes of rest. The cool part about it is that per session, okay, per workout session, if that's what you want to call it, they only did anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes of total exercise, all right? And here's the cool part about it. So when they actually started to look at the type 2 diabetics specifically, and this is both for the male and the females, right, that they both lost not only their stomach fat, right, but they also gained in aerobic and anaerobic fitness and significantly lowered their insulin resistance. In fact, when they went to test them, they found that they had their insulin sensitivity had increased by 25% at the 24-hour mark, right? And that by 3 days' time, that it actually returned back to normal. But dude, imagine that, right? Like basically you get 3 to 4 minutes of exercise and you get this free ride of insulin sensitivity, for the next 2 to 3 days. That's huge, right? In fact, here at the International Sports Sciences Congress, okay, they had taken a group of obese women, okay, and here's what they found. This one was a little bit different. They actually did 40-minute sessions. So I don't know if they're talking like total time there, because that many bursts for that long, that's a lot of exercise. All right, so it would be nice to know if like it was like swimming or walking or whatever, but basically they had lost a bunch of body weight. Their BMIs went down. Their total fat percentages went down. Their resting heart rate also improved, and again, leptin was also improved. Now, why is this so important, right? Like, why did I even hint at leptin? Here's why, okay? So when we look at, like, let's say the work of Dr. Axe, okay? So he got into high-intensity interval training as well. This is his article on it, and here's what he cites, right, which is awesome. So you get everything from firmer skin, increased energy, boosted metabolism, improved libido, right? A little hot dog dance never hurt anybody, right? So better tone, muscle tone, and reduced body fat given, and again, leptin. Now, what's this whole thing on leptin? So let's get into that here for a second. If you've ever looked at the work of Dr. Joseph Mercola, he gets into all the different things of diabetes and actually dives into, how leptin and insulin resistance are both, kind of correlated in that, once you have this hormone, kind of like you have insulin, right? So our problem with insulin is that our signaling is slow, and we're also insulin resistant, right? Just because we've produced so much of it that after a while, the body just kind of gets, numb to the signals, if you will. And essentially the same thing here happens with leptin. In fact, what he says is that ultimately what this means is that diabetes is a disease of both insulin and the malfunction of leptin signaling. Now, when you get into the work of a couple of folks here, Dr. Eric Berg has a really cool video on it. But if you really want the master class, you got to give it to this guy. It is Dr. Jason Fung. He has a clinic in Canada that he works specifically with diabetics right? Here I mean, it's about an hour and a half, but hands down, it is the best training if you really want to like understand how this stuff works in the easiest way possible. I got to give it to Dr. Fung. All right, cool.
Cool. So this all kind of started when we were in a gentleman by the name of Josh. His car. It was me, Josh, Caleb, and Tommy. Okay. Now Tommy was sitting right next to me, and he had his hand up on this handle thing, right? Like, you know, like over the window. They call it the oh crap handle, right? So he's holding onto that thing, and he's talking about all the different exercises because we were doing, you know, like these weekly weight competitions, right? Like who can lose the most amount of weight in the office within that week, and then obviously we'd put all our money in a pool, and then it would go and go and go, right? And I clearly remember looking over at Tommy, and Tommy's like, dude, he's like a rugby player, right? So he's got all this muscle on him, and I'm like, dude, there's no way. And I've got like, you know, these guitar strings for arms, right? I'm like, dude, there's no way that I can even come close to holding up to that guy. You know what I mean? And so I clearly remember like going online and looking, and here's the video that I found. Cool. In that video, they basically talk about a Japanese scientist by the name of Tabata. Okay, and how he found this style of exercise where people were able to burn or spike their metabolism or fat burning for anywhere from like 24 to 72 hours, right? And I was like, dude, I don't know if it even had a compound effect or had a compound effect or anything of that nature, but you know what? I just said, forget it. I'm on there and I'm jumping in. Like, we're doing this, right? So I literally did that goofy 4-minute video that you just saw. I did it once in the very morning and then once again right before lunch. And that's the only exercise that I did, and I ended up, you know, beating everyone in the office. And I was like, dude, no way, right? I think at the time we were putting in, everyone was putting like 10 or 20 bucks, right? So I walk out of there, you know, I win, I crush it. I'm like, dude, this is awesome, okay? At the same time, what I liked about it, to be totally honest, is that I couldn't keep up with your normal workout video. Right? There's no way I can keep up with like a 5-minute, like not even like an hour video, let alone a 5-minute video, let alone like a 1-minute video. I wouldn't make it. Okay. So what I really liked about that particular video is that I didn't even have to work out for an entire half minute at a time. I was only working out for like 20 seconds at a time. Then I would take, you know, like a 10-second break. Right. And it dawned on me, I was like, huh, you know, I wonder if this works, you know, somewhere else, right? So I started looking more and more online at these like videos and stuff like that. I started watching, you know, like some of these like fat burning workout videos and stuff that you can find on YouTube. And what I noticed is that a lot of them had like a lot of leg and a lot of like a leg and hip movement, right? So I'm like wondering why, and I forgot what video it was, but one of them basically told me it's because the largest single muscle that we have in our body is our butt cheeks, right? The gluteus maximus, right? And I kind of laughed at the time because, you know, me personally, I literally have like 2 CD covers for butt cheeks, right? Like I have like no butt, dude. I have like a frog's ass, okay? And it was almost like God's trying to be funny, right? And just turned me around from my shoulders and my ankles. It was just a flat board, and he just took a line and was just like, all right, there you go. That's your crack there, son. Well, anyways, you're gonna be funny. Well, anyways, that's all I had. And so basically our glutes, right? Our butt is our biggest single muscle, and then our biggest muscle group are our quads, right? So if you put your hand on your thighs, it's the very top. There it is, bud, the top of Noah's ham right there. That is the biggest muscle group. And so whenever you see a lot of these workout videos, fat burning videos, wherever it is, they're doing a lot of hips and legs. And I was like, huh, okay, cool. Right around the same time, I was literally just, you know, binge watching everything I could on YouTube to try to beat these guys in the office, right? So I also found that like running and stuff like that would be highly effective. The problem was like, dude, I was like way over 300 pounds. And so there's no way that I can go running for like 5 minutes, 1 minute, and again, not even like 30 seconds. So I actually applied that to, you know, the 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest to jogging. And I literally told everyone in the office what I was doing. Like they would do all these, you know, like push-ups and sit-ups and all this other stuff. And I think I was maybe like on the 3rd or 4th week straight when they were like, dude, like, what are you doing? There's no way, you know, that you got to be taking diet pills or something, right? And no, the absolute truth was that I was doing this Tabata exercise thing, but instead of doing like mountain climbers and jumping jacks, I was literally just doing it running. And I literally just told him like that's all I was doing. And to be totally honest, I couldn't really run even. And if I could, it was maybe like 20 seconds at a time. Well, anyways, that's all I did. And so I've taken that I literally started by just walking around the office. That walking around became like a mile. That mile became 2 miles, became 1.5, became 2.5, 3, 4, and so on. And so what you're looking at here is literally how I went from 300 pounds, not being able to really even exercise up to a minute at a time, to being able to run 5 miles. Here we go.
You know what's cool? So I used MapMyFitness, and I was actually scrolling to show you like this workout that we had just done for this day. But what's crazy is I kept scrolling down, and I actually found my initial workout. So this is actually my first workout. So here's a family trip that we did down by the beach where we rode bikes for about 5.5 miles. That was a killer. And then here's actually my first walk. So here's exactly what I'm talking about. I literally did about 1.25 miles there at just over about half an hour a mile, right? So like 26 minutes, 13 seconds a mile. And then here's another one where I did about a little over 1.5 miles, a little bit quicker. I think this is probably where I started using, like that 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, and I averaged just under 19 minutes a mile. About 18:36 was my average pace per mile. And then here's a bike ride that I had with Noah. In fact, here is what I looked like back then as well. All right, so hopefully this serves you well.
All right, so I love you, bud. We're about 4.5 miles in, and it's been a little bit of a kick in the butt, yeah?
It is. It's a kick in the arse.
It's a good way to start the morning.
Come on!
All right, so anyways, I'm proud of this kid. Dude, we're almost there. We're a couple minutes behind. So that means in the next, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, we gotta like make a run for it. What do you think?
She's gonna kill us.
She is, but not unless we like get off our cheeks and get a move on it, right?
I guess.
All right, so you know what that means. Let's go.
No.
Yeah. Hey, how many calories did you burn?
153.
No, you mean 453.
Yeah, I said 453.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you said 103. Good job, Lovey.
And that's about it. That covered 2 days of exercise. So in those, in however many minutes that was, you literally learned how to spike your insulin sensitivity 25% with only 4 minutes of exercise. You literally saw how I went from not really being able to exercise at all to being able to do, like intervals and like be able to cover, like 5 miles. That actually at one time I think I was at like 5.5 miles on my lunch breaks, So yeah, that's it. Anything you want to say, bud? Awesome, dude. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for watching this, and I hope it absolutely serves you well.
You have a big pimple on the side of your head.
Thanks.
It's like a
Bye.
horn. It's like